Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Chat. And today I'm talking with Nadine Hanchar. And Nadine is a counselor, consultant, speaker, and trainer since 1986. She specializes in working with trauma, abuse, relationship issues, and communication. Instead of the client having to fit the therapeutic tool, Nadine is using an approach which can include many types of traditional and non-traditional methodologies. Therefore, the therapy is designed to fit you, the client. Her results-oriented approach is designed to resolve the root causes of issues. This allows the person, couple, family, or organization to go forward with a better quality of life. And Nadine is certified in counseling in a private practice, certified master trainer in the NLP, certified master practitioner in counseling applications of NLP, a certified master timeline therapy practitioner, certified hypnotherapist, certified hypnotherapy trainer, American Institute of Hypnotherapy, and a certified iridologist and nutritionalist. So welcome, my dear.
Thank you for having me, Brenda.
Yeah, so today's question that I want to ask you is, are the memories I am having real, or are they just my imagination?
So this is a question I often get with clients that are having memories come up.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, in therapy, they're called suppressed memories that are coming up. And oftentimes they're triggered by something. I've had clients that have been in a car accident and then something has been triggered, or I've had somebody, hear a loud noise or something and something's been triggered, or they get a smell and something's been triggered. And so when it comes naturally, when things are coming up naturally, these are usually suppressed memories that are coming up, and they are real. Okay. Now, there are cases where, depending on what's going on, somebody will be talking to someone. It could be a therapist, it could be a friend, it could be someone else, and they will say, well, that sounds like XYZ, it sounds like your Uncle Bob did this or whatever. And sometimes the unconscious mind will create memories. And, even though those may not be real,
Okay.
We treat them the same as if they are in therapy. So how can I say this? It's very important as a therapist not to assume things and not to implant things. And some therapists are very good at, and I would say most therapists are pretty good at not doing that. And sometimes it's just a well-meaning friend, or maybe someone else who's gone through a traumatic or abusive situation, and they're sort of projecting their stuff out onto the other person. That can happen as well. But in most cases, if your memories are coming up and they've been triggered by something, or you might have been listening to something and all of a sudden some it's like the pennies dropped, right? Or the pebbles dropped, or whatever the metaphor is. And then I would suggest that you actually seek some assistance, because chances are you have suppressed memories that are coming up. And, that would be a really good thing for you to deal with, because, it does affect how you live your life. It affects your sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. It affects how you feel about yourself. And so it's really, really important, if suppressed memories are coming up, to actually get some help for them.
I used to have a memory that played, and I called it my 3-second video. And it was always the same reoccurring video that would play. And it was a scene that had happened when I was 5. And no matter where I was, what I was doing, it would just pop, just like that. I could be talking to a client, pop. I could be in the clothing store, pop. It never stopped. It just kept coming. And I used to always think that it was, you know, I don't know how to describe it. The video was always of a relative that was sexually abusing me. And I would always, I didn't want to believe the video clip that was playing. So because I had two abusers, one was the farmhand, then I would say, well, I'm just projecting it, you know, and it's actually about him, but it's really not about what the video is. And it took a long time for me to actually fully accept that that video clip was exactly what it was. It wasn't about anybody else. It was about that person, what that person was doing at that second. And then once I decided to accept the ramifications of that, then everything else came forward. And it was, yeah, repressed memories are scary at times.
Well, you know, your mind, uh, you know, if something is happening and you don't have the skill set to deal with it,
Mhm.
okay, and often these things happen when we don't have the skill sets to deal with it.
Yeah.
The unconscious mind will suppress memories to protect us.
Mhm.
And that's what it's doing. And, you know, when a memory starts to surface, it's usually because now your unconscious mind believes that you have the skill sets to deal with it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, in many ways, and I know people don't, you know, they're not, a lot of times this reoccurring sort of video, as you say, that's happening is, you know, is not a wanted thing, is it? And they don't want to believe it, and they don't want to deal with it. But in actual fact, it's a good thing, because it means that your unconscious mind believes that you can deal with it, and
Yeah.
that you do have the ability to deal with it. So, you know, you can in some ways see this as a positive, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it was very much, you know, well, at the time it wasn't a very positive, as you said, because I mean, it kept playing for about 30 years before I finally decided to do something about it, because it overshadowed everything. It overshadowed the birth of my daughters. It overshadowed my first marriage. It overshadowed my first date as a teenager. Like, it was just there all the time, playing, playing, playing. So yeah, when, you know, and I kept shoving it back down and not wanting to deal with it. But when I finally did figure out how to deal with it, and like you said, Nick, you know, I may have been ready to deal with it, but I had no idea how to deal with it. Then that was the catalyst for everything else to change.
Which is one reason that I'm going to say to people that if those things are happening, seek help,
Mhm.
get help, and get it as soon as possible, because, you know, you don't want to go 30 years where having it overlay everything, right?
No, it was, yeah, it's a long time. I mean, yeah, I was a slow learner in getting some help. But I mean, I lived in a community that there was really no help. And it wasn't until I moved away and divorced and things like that that I was actually able to seek the help that I needed. But yeah, I would hate to see my life today if I wouldn't have dealt with the video clip. You know, where I would be, it wouldn't be anywhere near where I'm at now. So it's amazing when you decide to deal with it, how your life can shift
Mhm.
to the positive. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, and that's true. Sometimes you can't deal with it right away, as you were saying. Sometimes the help isn't obvious.
Yeah.
The thing is that when you can get help, ask for it sooner rather than later, if possible.
No, that is true. Well, thank you, my dear, for that today. And thank you, everybody. If you have any comments, please put it down there. If you have any questions that you would like Nadine to answer, please put it in our comment section. And please remember that this is for knowledge only. It is not to replace any therapy or any counseling that you are presently in. Take this information to whoever you're working with and say, do I have this, or however. So again, thank you, Nadine, and we will talk again soon.
Thank you for having me, Brenda.